They trained B-17 crews here before they sent them to war. Now the same concrete tests a different kind of machine. Sebring isn't smooth. It isn't forgiving.
And it was never meant to be. Every crack, every seam, every brutal bump through turn 17 reminds you exactly where you are. A track built on history, a surface that demands respect. 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. Sebring International Raceway. Make your mark on history.
She's got a megaphone in her hand, black boots on the street. She's got traction, she's got friction, she's bringing the heat.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome live to legendary Sebring International Raceway for tonight's NASA Texas sim racing event here on STAM Studio Network. Tonight we've got the Toyota GR86 machines lined up and ready to take on 1 full hour around one of the most historic and demanding circuits in all of motorsports. I'm Sean Sam, producing, directing, and commentating the show, and welcome into Sebring. It's the kind of racetrack that pushes the drivers to their limits each and every single lap. The bumps, the concrete surfaces, the heavy braking zones, and the constant fight for grip going to make tonight's race a fight for a right for these drivers to party on. Strategy going to be a major factor out here as well within our 1 hour race. Cautions coming out at 20 and 40 minutes into the race. Taking out the look at some point standings before going track side. Scott Adams, the man, the myth, the legend, leads us out there in the points, but it's not by much. Daniel Parmalee, he sits P2. Andreas Rofana, Aaron Myers, Patrick Brunson. How about the drivers tied for P4 in the points? Chase Gardner, what a season it's been out there for him, at least sim racing, as is real racing. Chase Gardner, he sits P6 in the points. Jared Audrick, after a nice top 3 finish from VIR 1 week ago, Jared Audrick sits P7. Adriel Zarmano, Eric Ronenberg, and Mike Burris round up the top 10, all chasing Luke Cantor, trying to run away out of, not including the point standings after he came away with his win 1 week ago. And of course, as always, tonight's event would not be possible without the support of our incredible partners, sponsors, and affiliates. Thank you to Black Underwear for premium comfort and everyday essentials, as well as Brunson Motorsports, located just outside of Austin, Texas, supporting racers both on and off the track. Helium Mobile helps keep drivers and fans connected, as is M-World Data-Driven Performance for their passion and grassroots in motorsports, with a little bit more telemetry action out there as well for M-World. And of course, Ottoline Motorsport, also located just outside of Austin, Texas, getting ready and making sure that you are ready for some real-life trackside action at Circuit of the Americas, Porsche's Race Ready to Go. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Adams Driver Development, helping drivers share their and earn their racecraft, as well as YRB Autosport, and a new sponsor located just outside of Daytona Beach, Florida. They specialize in high-performance headsets, intercoms, digital UHF radios, wiring harnesses, and more. So that's Speedcom Communications, located just outside of Daytona Beach, Florida. TRB Autosport as well, arrive and drive programs. Make sure that you are ready for trackside action as well. So this is going to be a fun battle out here tonight from our historic Sebring International Raceway. Oh, and of course, cannot forget our behemoth, National Autosport Association, Texas region, not only sim racing, real life racing, making sure that these drivers are racked, stacked, and ready to go for real life racing. Speaking of racked, stacked, and ready to go for real-life racing, we'll take a look at the starting grid brought to you by Black Underwear, and all of our sponsors and affiliates up on the top right of the screen. Jeremy Fletcher, my buddy, the champ himself, going to slap it up on the pole, but unfortunately no longer shown within the race session. So pole position, that'll go to Anthony Wynn. Jared Audrick, his P3 finish from VIR 1 week ago. He'll start P3 at 0.6 of a second, back in behind Jeremy Fletcher's pole-sitting lap. Luke Cantor, he'll start P4 after the win from VIR, looking to go back-to-back in the Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Racing Series. Patrick Brunson, he's back out for some more sim racing action this time on, as he was getting a little bit of Can-Am action out there on the property. Edwin Onofre, keep an eye on that cat out here as well. 1.3 seconds back and behind our pole sitter Jeremy E. Fletcher's lap time. The Iceman up there up front, but again, no longer shown on the racetrack, at least in right now standards. Chase Gardner, he'll start P7, but bumps his way up to P6 with no Jeremy Fletcher. Scott Adams, he'll start P8. Greg Hartman, Daniel Parmalee, it's Parmesan, he'll start P10. Mark Curley and Corey Elliott rounding at the top 12. Andreas Profana, Alex Copeland, Daniel Santabanes. You got Mike Iacino up there rounding at the top 16. Chris Schultz, Ava Schlett, she made a nice qualifying effort as well as back in on the racetrack. Ava was lots of fun to see and put some real life faces into some real life names up there. Circuit of the Americas a couple of weeks ago. Got to meet quite a few of these drivers and a few of the fans as well. Ava Schlett, she'll start B18. Cameron Tackman and Robert Rose running at the top 20. So going over a couple of the names and faces that I was able to meet within real life racing a couple of weeks ago. We'll just go from the top to the bottom, you could call it. How about Patrick Brunson? He is running in this U.S. Money Reserve Gold and Black Toyota GR86 as Patrick Brunson races within real life racing. Keep an eye on Patrick Brunson here tonight. He is at a fast cat within practice, very fast within qualifying up there, starting second to third row back. Patrick Brunson, very nice qualifying effort. Scott Adams didn't get to quite meet him out here just yet, but it is coming out here pretty soon. Also, Scott Adams' better half, Marie Adams, will be joining us up here at minute 20 and minute 40 within this race here tonight. Talk a little bit more of some NASA Texas events coming up. Shoot, probably even some more than that. We know Maria Adams already got, always got a little something special tucked up and underneath her sleeve. Marie, appreciate each and everything that you and Scott do back and behind the scenes. Well as Patrick Brunson, all these, even within sim racing action, you got, oh goodness, Daniel Parmalee out there to thank as well. Lots of these drivers, and lots of these drivers do quite a bit out there back and behind the scenes to keep this sim racing league going. It's real life drivers, most if not all real life drivers on the track here tonight, Sebring International Raceway. We have an hour in the books. Stage break at minute 20 and minute 40. Hopefully you all have yourself a quick something to drink, a quick something to snack on here through this race. I don't think you're going to want to leave your seat after this drop of the green flag flies in about half the lap time. Texas Honda Races says we are out here. Marie Adams from NASA, Texas says full field tonight. Heck yeah. GT Eddie, I've met you out there at Circuit of the Americas as well. GT, welcome into YouTube chat. Texas Honda Racing, I'm in this race, sorry, but I'm in this race, sorry, but that caught my interest. GT right in there with you. This is one of my favorite car track combos out here, at least on sim racing. You got these very lightweight, light horsepower Toyota GR86 machines. Taking a look at a little bit of race info before we get the green flag drop tonight. It is a 78-degree ambient temp out there on our hands and toes. 45% humidity, points partly cloudy skies and up above. But look at the track temp. It is 103 degrees track temp. That may not all look like that much, but it is surface of the sun levels. It'll be interesting to see as far as strategy calls go, as far as if any of these drivers will take any tires up there after their quick stage break. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are stacked, racked, ready to go. Just a couple moments away from green flag racing in the Sunshine State. Anthony Wynn up and into the pole sitter after Jeremy E. Fletcher not able to take the green flag. I don't know why I keep saying E. Jared Audrick, Luke Cantor, Patrick Brunson, Edwin Onofre rounds out the front three rows. Ladies and gentlemen, green flag racing at Sebring International Raceway. Door to door from the front three packs and then starting to fan out three wide from about 10th and 11th on back. You can have Anthony Wynn, Jared Audrick going side by side and up in the front rows. Looking for maybe some contact out there between third, fourth, and fifth. Three wide action out there. Oh, there is contact out there between third, fourth, and fifth. Patrick Brunson, he'll go around out there facing the wrong way, gets it pointed back and in the right way, but heavy contact earlier within this race sends Patrick Brunson around. Jared Audrick clear to the race lead. A nice start for him this race, as we'll see another driver, Mark Hurley, heavy impact out there. The outside tire barrier, hopefully it was the tire barrier, but man, with as much damage that Toyota GR86 had, it looks like he's going to make that quick, fast tow down into virtual pit lane. More door-to-door racing, this time for the race lead. Jared Audrick, Anthony Wynn. Anthony Wynn, he did go door-to-door, but not able to take that position and get that throttle pedal plastered back down and on there with them. Now it's side-by-side, door-to-door. Edwin Onofre, he is shot out of a cannon here on this race restart. Edwin already now it's shown up to P3. Still not done with this battle for the race lead. Anthony Wynn trying to make something happen. Now on board with our rear bumper camera for Jared Audrick. Jared Audrick still able to hold off that hard-charging Anthony Wynn. Remember, pole sitter after Jeremy Fletcher was not able to take the green flag. Anthony Wynn was moved up to the pole, Jared to P2, but Jared with which worked his way back around the inside line here on this race start. He's able to start to stretch his legs to the race lead, but not by much. 1/10 of a second now separate 1, 2, and 3. Well, 1 and 2, 2/10 of a second separating Sue and 3. Luke Cantor, Scott Adams, and Daniel Parmalee. New look for Daniel Parmalee here this weekend in the Halbert Bimmer World machine. There you go. 99 all over the rear bumper. Friends off the racetrack, but enemies on it, frenemies on it, you could call it. Scott Adams, Daniel Parmalee starting to go a little door-to-door to complete our opening lap of this race. Making their way down the long back straightaway, and here we go into turns 16 and 17. Turn sunset, if you will. Thankfully, these drivers don't have to deal with the sunset here tonight, but Sebring International Raceway, it is so bumpy. You're going to see these Toyota GR86 in the front, the rear, all the suspension that you got there on it. Try to keep this car as much grip as you can out here through the corners as well. Jared Audrick still clear to the race lead as Edwin Onofre up and into P2 now. Remember, we called him shot out of a cannon here earlier within this race. He worked his way up to P3. Up to 4th, 5th, and then now 2nd. Inside line, not quite clear for Luke Cantor. After winning last week's race, Luke Cantor trying to make something happen. It's early on at Sebring International Raceway. Oh, Edwin Onofre with a huge sin up there with a slip up as well. He's going to continue to hold off that P2 position as we're going to hop on board with our race leader rear bumper camera shot. Jared Audrick to the point. He sits P3, finished P3 just 1 week ago, 7th in the point standings. Here goes side by side within the hairpin corner. Tight, heavy braking zone, tight racing lines as well. Jared Audrick still able to hold him off, but Luke Cantor, Edwin Onofre, look at that all blue machine. The number 16 for Luke Cantor, red, black, a little bit of white, red, blue, a little bit of white there on it as well. Luke Cantor, door, quarter, clear up to P2. Will he start to run more on the offense, or will Luke Cantor start to play a little bit more defense now as Edwin Onofre drops back into P3. Anthony Wynn, he still sits P4 after that's where he dropped. You got Scott Adams just hanging out in the weeds, as well as Daniel Parmalee. You got Parmesan sitting P6. So not only is this battles up here between the top 6 drivers, throw a blanket over top 7, if you will. Andreas Profeta, excellent start to this race for the driver number 21. Navy blue? No, not necessarily navy blue. That's Daniel Parmalee up there right in front of Andreas Profeta. Got baby blue action. Scott Adams, driver development, sim race action. Scott Adams, driver development, Toyota GR86 out there for Andreas Profana. He's continuing to rock and/or roll. Contact going on to the back straightaway. Mike Ayacito, he had a little bit of contact out there with it. Patrick Brunson, it is not his night, the 93. He'll swerve it left, swerve it right after contact. Gets that thing back up, moving and grooving. We got to get it back up here to the race lead after we're starting to see some side-by-side into turn 16, 17. Edwin Onofre, he is tired of waiting around. He shoves Jared Audrick back into P3. No contact given, but we're going to see some side-by-side, some 3-wide action up there and out up front as Daniel's, oh boy. Timings and scoring's going to go for a loop here just real quick. Patrick, okay. Well, we still got this battle up here within the race lead. Luke Cantor trying to leave off where he was. Jared Audrick, he'll now working down to the inside line. Sebring, remember, this is bumpy. It's worn out asphalt. We're going to see quite a few of these drivers, maybe a little bit of long run versus short run pace. I know that we have that the stage breaks to be able to re-rack and restack this whole field, but keep an eye maybe on some of these drivers. Are they pushing when it comes to push versus shove, maybe a little bit too early on within this race. So a couple of race replays to look over here just briefly before we get back going into some more racing action. One of those replays is going to be coming onto our back straightaway here in just a couple of times. Here's going to be Ava Schlett. She was making some moves earlier on this race. Too much speed into Sunset. That number 7 hard contact for Ava. Looks like she's going to reverse it off the race line and keep that thing pointed back the right way. Here's going to be Alex Copeland, one of the driver out of HD Motorsports, sight and weave. He's going to weave his way back and around. I think that was... I'll have to check back up on there on it. But for Alex Copeland, little off-track penalty there, but no harm, no foul. Looks like he's going to keep that thing pointed back in the right way. Here's contact and a spin for Edwin Onofre, Daniel Santabanes, and Corey Elliott. At least it says up there in timing and scorings. I don't think it was going to be, but it is a great look at this race replay as we started to look 2 and almost even started to look 3 wide going within turn 1. Battles for this race lead, heating up and ensuing. Golly, almost contact out there between Luke Kintor and Jared Audrick. Back out here into live racing action. It's still that same blanket over, separating first, second, third, fourth, back into 5th and 6th. Got some nice side-by-side battles up here between these front three rows they would have been. Also, Cameron Tackman is going at it as well. That would be Mike Iacino. Mike Iacino and Cameron Tackman still searching for that race replay with quite a few of these drivers a little bit of contact on their side, a little bit of a slip and slide on their side a couple of turns ago. And I'm thinking that, yeah, this was it here as you started to see this front 4 drivers start to snake up out there with one another. At least that's Greg Hartman's incident. He had that thing snapped around on that number 6. Thankfully for Greg, though, this is not real life racing, as we're actually we are able to get that car fixed right back up and ready to go within sim racing out there tonight. Sure, it is sim racing, but these tracks laser scanned, these cars laser scanned. I would call these drivers laser scanned, but I think the better way to say it, real life drivers bringing it out here to sim racing action. Luke Cantor, though, still able to hold everybody off. Jared Audrick, real life racer up to P2. As now he has a run. He has the speed. He has the momentum. Does that Jared Audrick number 00 machine. Black underwear, keeping things cool, calm, and collected both on the racetrack and inside the cockpit at the same time. Thankfully, because of those black underwear, he's going to make his way a little bit deeper into that braking zone. It's now clear. Jared Audrick to the race lead. This battle isn't over here just yet. Luke Cantor, he'll drop back to P2 as Anthony Wynn tries to make something happen here as well. He falls back to P3, but Anthony, he's going to slice. He's going to dice. Knocking. If the house is a-rocking, don't bother knocking. Just come on in. Anthony Wynn up to P2. Luke Cantor falls back 1. Edwin Onofre falls back 2. Holy, look out, cameraman. Driver starting to slip, driver starting to slide here just a little bit more. If we hop on board with our virtual driver eye camera shot of Edwin Onofre here, driver started 6th position, worked his way up and into 2nd, fell back here down to 4th, but if we hop on board with the final turn here on the racetrack, as well as turns 1 and 2, watch these hands, listen to this throttle and brake go to work. On that wheel, a little bit of micro adjustments, just asking that front end, begging that front end for a little bit more rotation out of turn 17. Here we go, up within turns 1 and 2, trying to just nail this corner entrance and this apex as this kind of sets up a huge turns 2, 3, and 4. Nice passing opportunities. 16, Luke Cantor, you see him go a little bit wide. Edwin Onofre, he has a shot, but not able to take it. Here goes turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 once more. Corey Elliott, Cameron Tackman, got Mike Iacino and Patrick Brunson here as well. Patrick Brunson with his nice qualifying effort, but a slip and a slide earlier on. Falls back to about P13 after about 2 of them. 08 goes a little bit wobbly wiggly there for Mike Iacino, keeping it planted on the outside line. Inside line will prevail, this time for Cameron Tackman. Cameron, door, quarter clear up to P11. Still got Patrick Brunson and Iacino going side by side within our hairpin hardest braking zone of this racetrack. Unlike really that final turn within the racetrack, you got to slam here on the brakes. You can't carry the speed. You can't quite carry that momentum down here until about second. If don't tell me you're getting in within first gear. Some of these drivers might be getting with here within first gear. Has a little bit better drive there up the corner. If you slow the car there down enough to won't get down there in first gear. Greg Hartman, Alex Copeland still going at it for 14th and 15th positions. Something that I love here about the NASA Texas Sim Racing League. Short, an hour-long race. Love that as well. But as well as these stage breaks within this race. This is our first competition caution, 20 minutes down within the race, so 9 minutes from now. Second caution, 40 minutes down in the race. So a little bit about 20 more minutes to go there as well. Starting to see this heat up out here between 1, 2, and 3. Just call it 4th, 5th, and 6th as well. Audric continuing to lead. Anthony Wynn, Luke Cantor, Edwin Onofre, Andreas Profana. Andreas Profana, he's been I wouldn't necessarily call it quiet this season. I mean, we've talked about him once, twice, thrice here before, but he continues to keep his head down, keep these racing finishes kind of consistently up here within these top 3, 5, 10s, as is Andreas Profana out there up and into P6 now. Third in the point standings there, Luke Cantor, as well as Jared Audric starting to go with a little bit more argy-bargy, but it actually looks like Anthony Wynn was able to take away that race lead back and around from Jared Audric. We'll show you a quick race replay there of that one, as we'll see Beaton banging a little bit of hip check out there turns 1 and 2. Hip check-in, we'll trade some more vinyl wrap between the two race leaders. Anthony Wynn, here comes Jared Audric once more. 3 wide for the race lead. NASA Texas at Sebring International Raceway. Luke Cantor from 2 rows back. Inside, he is now clear. Gonna try to say goodbye, but not able to do it, as we're gonna start to see some more side-by-side. That sets up a huge side drafting opportunity for 2nd, 3rd, now in 4th. Luke Cantor, I said he wasn't able to do it, but right now, at least clear for the race lead. He's looking in his rear view mirror. He is loving what he's seeing. He's starting to see this Jeeve drive start to heat up a little bit more for battles right there and on behind him. Audric with a deep move. Door once more. Not able to pin that throttle pedal down. Not able to work his way through the gearbox at their exit of the hairpin. Will run side by side for 2 and 3. I mean, how about him hound dogging him? Is Jared Audric, but hound dog. He's gonna look down the inside, not quite clearing him just yet. He's pinning the exit down there as well, kind of shortcutting that exit as Edwin Onofre is not able to really open up that exit of the race wheel and get that corner exit speed momentum back to moving and grooving, headed his way. Edwin Onofre, nice save up there. He goes for a slight slip and slide off the racetrack. Scott Adams starting to grow ever so bigger in Onofre's rear camera. You got Andreas Profana out there right and all over the rear bumper of Scott Adams, Chase Gardner, Daniel Parmalee, and Daniel Santabanes going at it out there 7th, 8th, and 9th position as well. How about Daniel Parmalee? He's been up, down, and around the town as far as standings are concerned, but he's backing up and into the town, sitting P2, just a couple, about 80, if not 90 points, if memory serves me correct, there between Parmalee and Scott Adams for the overall point standings. Still back up in here into this battle for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th alike. Still separated 2 tenths, 3 and 4 tenths this whole front pack. Start to see a little bit of a breakaway starting to form now between the rear bumper of Andreas Profana and the front bumper of Chase Gardner. Chase Gardner, really first time that we've mentioned his name out here tonight, started P7, sliced his way through the pack, worked there up a little bit, but continues to run P7 for the time being. Only 0.3 of a second up there separating him and Daniel Parmalee. Quite a few of the other names I was able to meet within real-life racing action out there at Circuit of the Americas a couple of weeks ago. Daniel Parmalee, great guy out there. Shoot, great guy on the racetrack, but great guy off the racetrack as well. Traveled down there from about the Fort Worth or Dallas area. Daniel, it's nice to see you up there in my neck of the woods, and I'll have to repay the favor visits you up there in North Texas as well to see a little bit more of this NASA Texas real-life league. Continue to do some more racing up there, and we'll chat with with Executive Director out there in a few moments' time. Not out there, but we'll chat with her here on STAM Studio Network about 5 minutes time and get the breaking news, get what's popping, moving, and grooving out there as far as real-life NASA goes. Back to virtual NASA Texas Sim Racing Series. I'd just like to take a quick moment, thank each and every single one of you joining me here tonight in YouTube land. GT, Eddie, Marie, Adams, Texas Honda Racing, Ted down there in YouTube land, as is our sponsors and affiliates up there in the top right side of the screen. Broadcasting racing out here tonight could not have been done without each and every single one of you. So Luke Cantor, that red, blue, a little bit of white there on that number 16 Toyota GR86 machine. Still clear to the race lead, but it's not by that big of a margin. I will say, though, it's by about as big of a margin that we've seen out here tonight for the battles for the race lead. 5/10 now, half a second. But here comes the slipstream, here comes the draft, here comes the huge hole poked in the air by one of these very little Toyota GR86s. Anthony Wynn, Jared Audrick, and Edwin Onifrey really going to benefit from that slipstream and draft. Going out there within our final corners of the racetrack. Got to be careful for Anthony Wynn. He's going to try to slingshot his way to the inside line using the slipstream and draft available to him. But you got to be so careful, as that can really slingshot you. It can give you too much speed going out there and into the corner, as we saw a couple of drivers laps ago, contact out there with the outside tire barrier. Jared Audrick, he's going to make his way, slingshot his way down there in turn number 1. Luke Cantor back on the defensive line, though, not able to make it happen. Jared Audrick, he's not done here just yet, as Edwin Onifrey joins middle of this race battle for the race lead. Edwin Onifrey now, he's got the battle cleared, but it's Jared Audrick. He's going to try to slice and dice it down there and there one more time. Edwin, he's going to run wide off the racetrack. That's the GT Eddie machine. We've seen him down there in YouTube land. We met him out there at Real Life Circuit of the Americas as well. Edwin Onifrey, here he comes. He's clear to the race lead. It's not been the first time here tonight, though. GT Eddie machine. Let's see if he can continue to hold off this leading pack as Jared Audrick falls back to P2. Luke Cantor, Anthony Wynn, and Scott Adams. Something to kind of keep an eye on out here. Top 5 drivers have now led at least one lap here within this race. Continuing to see the Argy-Bargy, a little bit elbows out this time by Edwin Onifrey. He's looking on the outside line of the racetrack. Jared Audrick, he goes inside. Jared Audrick back to the race lead. This has been excellent, immaculate, even clean race now here in this Toyota GR86 series. I say Toyota GR86 series, but we run a little bit of Mazdas out there as well. Jared Audrick, slight contact back and clear to the race lead. It's all ethical racing action for this NASA Texas, not only virtual, but real life racing series as well. Edwin, Jared look to go door to door once more. Edwin, he gives the room as Derek, he goes down the inside. This is going to get tied out there out of the corner exit. Edwin Onifrey, that is something that takes a whole hell of a lot to be able to pin that throttle pedal down and not get out there on the grass on corner exit. Edwin Onifrey all over the rumble strips, but he doesn't lose any corner speed or momentum doing so. Back here, 2, 3 wide for the race lead. Jared Audrick, he's keeping that down to clear to the inside as Luke Cantor keeps it all over. Tries to run some side-by-side action. Can't quite side draft for the race lead as Edwin Onifrey, he is still there for P3. The Luke Cantor, he's up to the race lead, but not clear here just yet. White flag is out for within stage 1 of the race. How about it? I mean, not only has this been side-by-side battles for the race lead, but side-by-side battles. 3 wide again for the race lead once more. Settles it back down to 2. Jared Audrick, he falls back down to the outside. Luke Cantor, he's looking low. Jared Audrick, contact! He hip checks Luke Cantor off the racetrack. Jared Audrick, he got loose as a goose. He tried to save that 00 TRB black underwear machine. He did save it, but he had lost all of his speed doing so. That slingshot Scott's Adams up there into P3. Anthony Wynn now up into P4. Quick race replay of this. Was it? Yeah, I think it was Jared. Jared got some wheels out there off of the racetrack, and unfortunately, grass is not as grippy as is the asphalt out here, even though worn out asphalt, World War II asphalt here, if you will, from Sebring. Luke Cantor, a little bit of contact out there with him, and that sucks for him. But keep in mind, it's a white flag here before this this competition caution. Edwin Ottoline is GT Eddie clear and out up front, looking to just make his way back and around downtown within our first virtual caution flag of this race. Edwin here comes Chase Gardner down the inside, looking on Andreas Profana. Andreas Profana, he's got no defense in the tank, whether it's physical, whether it's mental. I think he's got some mental defense left here within his tank, as he's going to start to look some more door-to-door racing out there. Not quite with Chase Gardner, but at least with Luke Cantor. Battles out here to the lead, non-existent for the time being, down the back straightaway to complete our opening stage of this race. Edwin Ottoline started P6. He's got Scott Adams, Anthony Wynn, Jared Odrick, Chase Gardner trying to chase them all down. Ladies and gentlemen, crystal ball right now, a glimpse into the future with what could be our white flag lap here in about 39, 38 minutes time. Anthony Wynn, Scott Adams, you see Anthony Hill slide it down deep and into the corner. Clear for P2 for the time being. Jared Odrick, a slight more better contact with him and Scott Adams. It's Edwin Ottoline who wins stage 1 of the race. Anthony Wynn, P2 at the stripe. Jared Odrick, he'll be P3. Of Chase Gardner, that'll round at the top 5. Luke Cantor, Andreas Profana, that'll round at the top 6 and 7, as well as, top 7, continuing to be separated by just under a whole second within this whole pack. Alrighty, I have a special guest I'm going to bring up here and into the booth. Kind of teased it earlier. It's going to be Executive Director of NASA Texas. Hey, hey Marie, it's Sean and Stam up here in the booth. You got yourself a copy?
Copy. Thanks for having me, Sean.
Marie, thank you for joining me. How are you doing on this wonderful race night? And how have you been doing? It's been a few days, a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I jumped on the broadcast, but I had to make an appearance this week. Obviously, we're at Sebring, home of the 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. So we're super stoked for that. So things are going well. We're kind of on our summer break, as we call it here in Texas. We'll be headed out to Hallett Motor Racing Circuit up in Oklahoma with the NASA Mid-America region here coming up in June 6th and 7th. And then in July, we head over to Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama to team up with the NASA Mid-South region to kind of stay out of the Texas heat and still give our drivers a couple of cool tracks to go and kind of take a road trip and have some fun elsewhere.
Hey, great place to do it over there in Barber Motorsport Park, and you kind of alluded to it there, but that's also what I love about NASA Texas is you can also kind of get together with a couple other the NASA regions and kind of get some combo track days going out there. I love to see it, Marie. I love that everything that you've done back and behind the scenes out here for us as well. Have you been able to keep an eye out here on the race here tonight and been able to keep an eye on things?
Oh, absolutely. We got a solid field here tonight. A lot of NASA names on the list, as well as some names I've never seen before, so that's always exciting. Gearing up, I always love to see how many of these people are real-life racers and how many of them are still trying to make the transition from sim racing to real-life racing, which is where NASA comes in. You know, I hope a lot of these guys, whether they're already active and participating with other groups or what have you, that they might take a chance with NASA and do some HB time trial or racing with us at some point in 2026.
Well said there, Marie. Again, I really appreciate you taking the time out here of your night to join us up here in the booth, and hopefully you can join us out here in about 20 more minutes time before we get the final green flag of the race.
Yeah, I'd love to jump back in at the 40-minute mark, and we'll talk a little bit more about the NASA Championships coming to Sebring and what that looks like.
Thank you so much, Marie, and ladies and gents, stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. Alrighty, well, that was Executive Director, NASA Texas, Marie Adams out there. Yes, there is relation. That's married to Scott Adams. Scott Adams, he's up 4 positions here since the drop of the green flag, running in P4. But we're going to throw the green flag once more. Back to racing, Sebring International Raceway. Edwin Ottoline, Anthony Wynn, Jared Odrick, 1, 2, 3. This time, this race restart a little bit more spread out. spread out and single file. You see 0.5 of a second gap separating between Scott Adams and Jared Audrick for the battles between third and fourth. Now starting to heat things up more, Chase Gardner, Luke Cantor, and talk about heating things up. Scott Adams, he was under fire out there with Chase Gardner. We've seen the short run speed for Chase Gardner. We've seen the short run speed for Luke Cantor as well. Drivers looking to make something happen out here within these opening laps of our Sector 2 of this race. It's some more battling. It's going to be Luke Cantor out up top. Now Scott Adams is down low. Oh, Luke, he's deep within the braking zone there. Maybe a little bit of contact between the two as they continue to fight for their right to party. That's holding fifth, holding sixth, holding seventh. Andreas Rapena. I think Andreas, he's got his virtual, if not real life, popcorn bucket out now. Hopping on board with the driver, Andreas Rapena, outside, right outside of his windscreen. He has got this due battle that continues to ensue since the drop of the green, and since the drop of the green from 1 lap ago. Hopping on board with Andreas Propena's rear bumper this time. He's got a newer paint scheme, and Daniel Santabanes out there right in there behind him. So many races that Daniel Santabanes, he has speed, has the pace. Daniel up 7 as he gets the Sean and Tater curse loose as a goose out there throughout the corner. Cameron Tackman, Patrick Brunson, and Mike Agostino continue to do battle as well, trying to chase this side-by-side, going at it for third and fourth. Anthony Wynn tries to stop the bleeding as Chase Gardner is on the offense. Once more, he's going to be down the offensive line here. Going to set it up is the number 12, has to run a little bit more wide. Chase Gardner, 31, runs down the inside line, but you see he gets a little bit pinned up there, not able to carry and roll that corner on through. Scott Adams, that's been once, twice, thrice. This has been 4 corners at a time here this This battle continues to ensue as well. Patrick Brunson, Cameron Tackman, Daniel Parmalee side by side for 3 rows back. How about it? Patrick Brunson, Eagles Canyon Racing, powered by Fast Track, outside, but now the inside line is there. Daniel Parmalee with a shove out there, not necessarily shoving, but shoving the issue as far as the braking zone goes. Daniel Parmalee, he made a nice look into the corner, but not able to make that one happen as well. He's going to get shoved a little bit wide going out here within turns 1 and 2, trying to reel in Cameron Tackman, Mike Agostino, Alex Copeland out of HD Motorsports. Remember, we saw Alex Copeland it was right there within turn 3 at the exit of it. Copeland up here doing battle once more. Alex, he had to get out of the gas in order to avoid making contact with Mike Agostino. Mike Agostino is going to get right back on the gas and still avoid the contact there, but start to run some more side drafting out there within the Isn't So Straight, heading within the hairpin section. Oh, Cameron Tackman, he's on that defensive line that we saw Scott Adams run a last lap by. Mike Agostino, though, let's see if he's going to make anything happen out up top. We might start to look 3 wide going into the corner. That's a little bit deep for the HD Motorsports driver. Look at Ava Schlett, she's right there. Ava Schlett's going to get the Sean and Tater curse. Oh, man, right when I said their name, she had the contact ensue right up and in front of her. Nowhere for Ava to go, as she had done a really nice job at closing the gap up here within this battle. Oh man, at least back up here within P12 is the Ava Schlett's machine. It's GT Eddie, still Edwin Onofre up there and in clear, out up front by 0.5 of a second. Edwin out there at Circuit of the Americas, got to give him a little Stam Studio Network merch, a little bit of SSN merch. Looks good out there in front of this pack. Jared Audrick doing everything that he can, and I've said it once, twice, but I'm going to say it again. Physically, mentally, I keep bringing that up because Sebring International Raceway, physically, it's the bumpiest track. It's probably one of some of the most worn out asphalt on the schedule, as well as mentally, you are pushing lap after lap after lap. You are trying to keep it off the run. You can run on the rumble strips, I'll take that back, but at least keep it out the grass and dirt. So far, we've seen top 3, top 4, 5, 6, and 7 do an immaculate job at it. On board with Chase Gardner, Luke Cantor. Remember Luke earlier within this race? He had worked his way all the way to the front of the pack. I mean, he started P2, he fell back a little bit on the drop of the green flag, and then he had done the hard work, got his way back and up and into it, and then as the green and white checkered flag flew for the end of the stage, Luke, oh man, just a tiny little, well, it was more than a tiny little bit of contact. But how about the speed? How about the pace out there for him? Just to go ahead and show you. Look at the last 5 lap differential. Okay, well that went a little bit different than I thought. But Chase Gardner separating the lap time separating him and P5. Luke Cantor, you can see lap 12. He's made up that gap both visually and both timing and scoring sleep. What would you say? Mathematically, I don't know. Anyways, Luke Cantor is now working. This time it's going to be the little bit more offensive. Excuse me. Oh well, he's gonna get a little bit of a hip check out there from the Chase Gardner machine. I wouldn't even call that hip check. We'll just call that one trading final wrap between the 16 and the 31. Chase Gardner, he gets a little bit wobbly, wiggly out there on corner exit. Contacts there, but no harm, no foul. It is just tight, close quarter combat racing. Ladies and gentlemen, halfway down, halfway to go, and we still see this close quarter combat racing all throughout the racetrack. Patrick Brunson, Daniel Santabanes, Cameron Tackman still going at it. Got Alex Copeland about 1.8 seconds back and behind this battle, but doing a nice job at hanging out there within that front battle. Now checking on Daniel Parmalee, I think this was probably 2, 3, if not 4 laps ago. We saw that going out of the hairpin corner. Top of 3 wide's risky business up there out of hairpin. Unfortunately, Daniel, he had a little bit of contact on his side. Here's a slow-mo here. Look at this race replay. And I think you can live with the contacts there, not Daniel specifically, but just as a Toyota GR86 Cup driver. But the one thing that you can't live without, the one thing, that's going to kind of go, that will bite you there is look at those left side tires. It's just an inch, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe half the tire width. Daniel Parmalee, that's all it took to get that 99 upset, and that rear end's got looped out there on him. One, 2, 3. 3/10 separating 1 and 2. 5/10 between 3 and 4. Excuse me, 2 and 3. And then 2.5 seconds separating Anthony Lynn and Luke Cantor. How about Chase Gardner, though? Chase is really starting to struggle to make his way. He has not struggled to make his way up into where he is at the track now. But after hitting Luke, after some more close quarter combat with Luke Cantor, and after, making his way up and into him, he's kind of hit a roadblock as Chase Gardner, not able to make his way back and around Luke, who is sitting P4 and continued and started P4 as well. Another driver just continuing to run. I wouldn't even call it under the radar because we said his name once, twice, thrice, but Andreas Profana. All about saying his name once, twice, thrice up there, third within the point standings. Not only third within the point standings, but Profana, he only sits 1 point separating him and Daniel Parmalee. Now as Daniel Parmalee, Parmesan, falls back into P15 in this race. That could be, and we still have a long ways to go within this season, but hey, that's some tight point battles separated by just 1, and each and every single one of these races could kind of set up, make or break, not even the rest of your season, but could make or break even that top 3 championship run, hopefully within later in the season. Edwin Onofre still clear to the race lead, and we saw some laps. We saw some lap strategy separating a couple drivers go. And this time, if we take a look at some last lap history, separating last 5 laps, separating our 1-2, Edwin Onofre and Jared Audrick. It's a little bit of cat and mouse, if you will. You see the little bit of the cat out there for Jared Audrick, reeling in lap 10, lap 12, lap 13, and look at lap 10, 2.1 seconds gained. But then you got that mouse trying to run away out there on front of him, as well as doing a pretty good job at trying to run away. Edwin Onofre, last lap by was almost his best lap by, putting on a 2:22.3. Last lap by a 2:22.3, but for Edwin Onofre, but for Jared Audrick, it was a 2:22.2, 0.10 of a second faster. He has continued to close that gap as well as visually. Edwin Onofre, he's going to have to start playing something here. Maybe playing the world's smallest violin out there for him at this time. Jared Audrick, he's not going to give it up. Edwin Onofre not going to give it up as Jared Audrick tries to make something happen once more. He's got to give up that move and groove, trying to get it out there within 1 and 2. He'll re-rack. He will restack with Jared Audrick, and he will try to make this pass happen once more. On board with the front bumper camera shots here for the double O black underwear machine. Black underwear, how about premium comfortable accessories for both on and off the racetrack, or at least I'd wear them on and off the racetrack. They look cool enough there for it. Black underwear machine, Jared Odrick, double O. He's just I would say abiding his time, but we have seen him try to make those moves to the race lead happen. 0.3 of a second, 1 and 2. 2 seconds, Sebring third and fourth, and then back to some more 0.3 of a second battles. Chase Gardner has worked his way backing up into P5, but remember, not able to pass Luke Cantor. Scott Adams, the man, the myth, the legend. He sits P6, and Andreas Fafana right there and in behind him. He sits P7. Some more battles here out there between the Daniel Parmalee, the Greg Hartman, and the Alex Copeland machine. I saw that Alex Copeland had gone for a slight bit of a spin out there on the racetrack, and here's a quick brief view of it. Well, he's up there and in front of the 19 right now. Oh, the 19 gets a little bit, sends the postage stamp on that one through it and sends it the next county on. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but contact out there between Hartman and Copeland there. 4 more, call it 3.5 more minutes to go. So that's looking, if not a lap and a half, probably 2 more laps to go. Edwin Onofre doing everything he can to try and hold off Jared Odrick, but here comes the slipstream. Here comes the draft and the long back straightaway at Sebring International. Jared Odrick, he's going to start to look down the inside once more. Is he clear? Not here just yet, but he has a run and a half. He'll use the speed. He'll use the momentum, but now as the two front race leaders get side by side, Anthony Nguyen, he has another chance to make something happen. Door to door once more out up front, but Edwin Onofre, he's got the advantage right now going in turns 1 and 2. He's got the advantage, that orange cone up on the fence, exactly what you're aiming for. And I had just noticed it up there within the sun shade for the driver number 20 to the race lead out of West Coast Sim Racing. Used to do some broadcasting for them myself. Edwin still clear as Anthony Nguyen, he's able to surpass Jared Odrick. Jared Odrick right now, I think he's starting to, you got to kind of, how do I say this? It's offense versus defense. You have to kind of, oh my goodness, I'm losing the train of thoughts out here for it, but it is, you have to be careful for Jared Odrick. A move for the race lead could quite compromise that racing line and ultimately find yourself back up here within what was battles for the race lead, separated now within P3 and 4. Thankfully for Jared, he's got the speed, he's got the pace to still find a 1.1 second gap over P4, but he's not done doing battle here just yet. 2 more minutes until that final competition caution. Jared, he's still running inside. Excuse me, now it's going to transition back to the outside as Anthony Nguyen looks back into the inside. The Sprago Goodyear BBS Navy Blue and White Mazda colored and livery Toyota GR86 backing around and up there into P2. I think we're starting to see a little bit more tire conservation, at least earlier within this race. We saw Anthony Nguyen, we saw his speed and pace, then we saw him kind of tone down that wick. Now he's starting to pick it up once more, up and into P2. Luke Cantor now starting to stalk and creep at the dungeon. He has his sights now set on that TRB black underwear helium mobile machine of Jared Odrick, who falls back to P3. So here's the rear bumper camera shot, and then here's the front bumper. Jared Odrick in the meat of the sandwich. He'll give a little bit of a pelt up there to for Anthony Nguyen. He's going to shove him a little bit deeper within the corner, but sometimes a little bit too much speed in the corner is not what you want, especially out there through sunsets. There is such a fine line between too much speed and a little bit too much less speed, especially through sunset. I don't think I have ever nailed it right within my 3, 4, 5 years of iRacing action. It takes perfection to nail it. I think we've seen quite a few drivers look a little bit close to more perfection out there as far as corner entrance, mid-corner, and corner exit go. Top 1, 2, 3, 4. It used to be top 6 within a breakaway, but now it's top 4, and you got 4th, 5th, and 6th. Cantor, Gardner, and Scott Adams that continue to duke it out here from these battles on. Not only them as well, but Ava Schlitz, Mike Iacino. We also got Daniel Parmalee and Alex Copeland, the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th position. 0.3 of a second separated there. 40 minutes back up on the clock. Only 20 minutes go here left within this race. And Edwin Onofre looks like he's going to take away backstage 2 within his name. I say that now, though, but these drivers still got about 3, 4, if not 5 more turns to go. Long way to go, long time to get there. Edwin Onofre going to try to do what they say can't be done in that West Coast Sim Racing Tech Sport Toyota GR86 Cup car machine. Edwin Onofre's going to keep out there on the gas. I thought they were checking up for a second with as much single file as we did start to see, but now we can definitely see that these drivers still continue to try to make at least one pass happen, I thought. Yeah, still under race conditions out there as Anthony Wynn, 2/10 now back into P3, back in behind him. Jared Odrick, we have seen him so many times. It's been inside, it has been outside, it's been left, right, and back center. The black underwear TRB Autosport Scott Adams driver development machine for Jared Odrick. I would really start to guess right now that his front tires are really starting to beg for grip, beg for mercy. They'll have one more chance before they get cooled down back into pacing action out here for one lap time, trying to make something happen out here for this top 2-3 position. Out within 17, final turns to the racetrack. Remember, ladies and gents, crystal ball right now, glimpse into the future. These drivers may be experimenting with what could happen on the final lap of this race. 19 minutes to go. Edwin Onofre, stage 2 winner once more. Anthony Wynn, Jared Odrick, P3. Luke Cantor, that'll be P4. Chase Gardner backing up into P5. Scott Adams, Andreas Rafana, Patrick Brunson, Daniel Santamanes, and Cameron Tackman, who ran at the top 10. Side by side, they're separating Ava Schlitz, Mike Iacino, Daniel Parmalee at the line. Looks like it'll be Ava Schlitz just by 0.3 up there to P11. All right, stick with us here on STAM Studio Network. We got still 18 more minutes left to go, and got that quick special guest up here joining us in the booth once more. Hey, Marie Adams out of NASA, Texas, real life action. You got yourself a copy.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I don't know about you. These drivers keeping us busy, or me busy up here in the booth. But Marie, I think you got a little bit more information about some more real life NASA Texas events here headed our way a little bit soon.
Yeah, I wanted to chat a little bit about the NASA Championships. Sebring, obviously, this year, the home of the 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. So we're super stoked about that. For anybody that doesn't know what the NASA Championships are, essentially that's our marquee event of the year that brings together the best of the best for both time trial and racing. It's 4 full days, September 24th through 27th. We kick it off with a test day on the Thursday, and then you've got Friday and Saturday practice and qualifying, and then you've got all of your championship races coming down to the wire on Sunday. So we do a live broadcast, almost as good as what you put on here in iRacing. And it's a really good time. So you have everything from people that have been to the championships, 10 years running, and people that it's their very first time ever. Maybe they've been to the track, maybe they haven't, but it's a really unique event for people to just meet people from all across the country who have been driving with NASA, and maybe they've been driving on iRacing together and they've never met. So it's a cool opportunity for sure.
Well said, Marie. And I know that we've been out here to Sebring in iRacing for, 2, 3, 4 times, if not now. It's all starting to come together. Championship, that's most important part of the season. And it's fun to watch these drivers try to dial things in and get ready for it on the sim before it's all back into real life action.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing better we can do from our side than to pick a NASA Championships venue that's on iRacing and on the simulator. So it's really cool to see all these drivers, whether they're going to go to championships or not, if they're just out here helping other people practice or whether they're practicing for themselves. It's super fun, and I'm glad that we can do this leading up to the September event.
Well, Marie, I'm glad that I can do this and showcase the event up here for you within iRacing and sim racing. And we still got to make it happen, but one day it will be. I'll meet you out there for some real life racing as well. Until then, before that, we'll chat until before then. Marie, thank you so much, and for everybody out there at NASA for everything that y'all guys do back and behind the scenes. We're going to get back up here and finish our race here from Sebring, and hopefully we're chatting with you soon, Marie.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sean. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Marie. Have a great rest of your night. Well, that is, it's so cool, and once again, I should have said it better, but dream come true out here, broadcast. Are you kidding me? NASA, Texas, lots of real-life drivers out here, sim racing, as you heard from Marie, getting ready for their championship runs at Sebring International coming up here. Up until that, though, Edwin Onofre, Anthony Wynn, Jared Audrick, 1, 2, 3. Luke Cantor, keep an eye down that red, white, and blue Toyota GR86, number 16, P4, all over that rear bumper of Jared Audrick. Matter of fact, call it less than half of a car width between the two. Let's hop on board with Luke Cantor up within hairpin. This is going to get tight. Will he use that, what is the Ricky Bobby thing? Shake and bake. Will he use the draft? I don't think he's going to be close enough out there, but he will close it. Luke Cantor looking to shake, Luke Cantor looking to bake, not able to make it happen out there within at least the front 4 positions. Luke Cantor, a little bit more offense is brewing out there underneath them. Contacts now there between Cameron Tackman and I believe that was Daniel Santabanes. You see Daniel out of the RE, oh boy, I just missed it off the corner there, but the RE Scott Adams Driver Development Toyota GR86 403, he'll look down the inside. GT Motorsport Machine, I believe that's what it said out there on the door. Daniel, the nice offensive action out there as these drivers had at least a lap to cool their Continental Toyota GR86 tires backing around down, try to get some more pressures out there, relieved out there on them, and try to get their tires ready, try to get themselves ready for this 16 minute sprint here to go to the finish. Keep an eye as well, that weather shown in the bottom right side of the screen, shore ambient temp showing 77 degrees, but that is about 4 degrees warmer than what we started this race. As does that mean that is the track temp was about 103 degrees Fahrenheit at the drop of this green flag, so it's most likely shown at about, if not 107, 108. Track temps continuing to rise, grip levels continuing to fall, as we have looks for the race lead continuing to gain once more. Anthony Whitney is tired of waiting around, as is Luke Cantor, both door to door, now it's Jared Audrick who fall back to P4, Luke Cantor backing up into P3 as Edwin Onofre. I don't know if we've seen a driver show this amount of defense before, but at least on the track, we've seen some NFL defense before out of Jared Audrick, who runs P4, but how about Onofre? Everything that he's got physically, mentally. Toyota GR86 now back on board here with B number 2 on the virtual driver eye camera shot. Anthony Wynn, you can see once again micro adjustments on the steering wheel. Listen in out here on these bumps, as well as listen in out here on the gas and braking. It's just finicky. It is so finicky. And these Toyota GR86 is back and planted to the floor. It is that throttle pedal. But let's listen out here and just visualize the trail braking. Down and into first gear goes Anthony Wynn. Back into there, some more side-by-side battles. Patrick Brunson will go at it there with Alex Copeland. Copeland goes door-to-door with Andreas Raffena. Andreas Raffena's not going to like that one too much. He'll keep his throttle pedal planted, as well as keeps that outside. It was inside now, and back to the outside it goes. It's Andreas Raffena, Alex Copeland still beating, still banging. They're rubbing quarters, now they're rubbing doors, now they're back to running elbows, trying to make up this position back up and into Patrick Brunson. 8th, 9th, and 10th, now separated by less than 1/10 of a second with only 12 minutes to go at Sebring International. How about Cameron Tackman? Cameron, I have seen him run in the inside, I've seen him run the outside. Shoot, I've seen him run a hybrid race lines. He's going to get a little bit more hybrid race line on him right there. He's going to start to look down the inside, but late within corner exit, fakes out to the outside line. He's able to really open up that corner and set up a passing opportunity on there. Andreas Raffena not able to get close enough though. We will have to see if Cameron Tackman is able to make anything happen there. We're coming at you with only 10.5 more minutes to go. Edwin Onofre, since he has got to the race lead, he has not looked within his rear view mirror. He's probably looked within it, but there's been nobody there. Edwin, how about this gap back up to 0.6 of a second separating P1, P2. Drivers pushing the issue out there at turn 17, closer and closer to that tire barrier. Don't get too close, it won't only just reach out, but it'll bite you. There you go. That's that cone up on the fence. That's exactly what you want to aim for going in within turns 1. Open up there within turn 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. A little bit more technical portion here out of Sebring International. The bumps, the thumps, they are continuing to send these Toyota GR86s up and into the air and up and off of these race lines as well. Chase Gardner, he is tired of trying to chase down these top 4. He's trying to make something happen out there on Jared. Jared, though, what a nice move. He's going to play some more defense. Defense. Jared Audrick, real retired NFL lineman for the Jags and the Dolphins. He's going to play that defense. Jared Audrick, he's going to look wide. Jared, though, inside line, probably going to prevail up there. No, Ava Schletzno showing us the disqualified penalty as Jared Audrick a little too deep. He'll run off the racetrack. The 00 loses the position, if not 2. Chase Gardner up to P4. Scott Adams now up to P5. Where did it all go wrong for the 00? And I don't think I think it was up there into the entrance of the corner. A little bit too late there in that braking zone for Jared. At least he lives to fight another day, lives to fight another lap. Here's one more look at it. Look at the ethical wheel racing. No contact into the corner as Chase Gardner, he could see that one coming from the next county on over. Jared Audrick, 4 tires off the racetrack. Slippy, slidey. Look at how he catches it, though. The cat-like reflex out there for the 00. Top 1, 2, 3, 3/10 of a second, 1 and 2, 3/10 of a second, 3 and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, this race is everything but over here just yet. Edwin Onofre pushing, shoving lap after lap. Luke Cantora doing the same out there, up and up with him to make his way up within, back and into P2 position. Daniel Santabanes goes for a little bit of a loop-de-loop and pull. The 403 shoes are no longer looking cool. What happened out there to Daniels? We got to get back up there within the battles for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, shoot, call it 4th, 5th, and 6th. There's the 2 Daniels running together. You got Parmalee right up and in front of him. Santabanes, oh, it's the rumble strips of death. Gonna take one more look here at it, and we'll slow and blow it down here for you. I know that you got the independent rear suspension, at least I do believe, within these Toyota GR86 cars, but my goodness, that's thump, 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 sparks start to fly, and woo, that's all she wrote for Daniel. Does a nice job at, oh man, I thought he kind of pancaked the wall instead of the rear, taking the most of the contact. Daniel Santabanes, he'll fall back into P14. 10 seconds now separates him and Corey Elliott. Corey Elliott, who we really haven't talked about here too much tonight, started P12, runs P13. He's continuing to have himself, a nice night in the number 17, keeping things cool, calm, and collected. He'll gain some points headed his way as well. Here we go. Battles for the race lead starting to heat up once more. I think they have been heating up, but now the water is starting to boil. Luke Cantor just tried to make a look down the inside. Inside versus outside, it has been the name of the game from Sebring International Raceway. Here comes inside versus outside once more. Luke Cantor, he's going to look low. Except this time it's going to transition to the outside line of the racetrack. Outside line, it's got the more dirt and debris up there on it. You can start to see it within some of these camera shots. The dirt and debris that continue to, that really not allow Luke Cantor to get that, to carry the speed, kind of tried to make an outside line work as the dirty line continues to, the clean line continues to prevail against the dirty right now. Clean line, there's no debris, there's no dirt, there's no tire marbles that you have to worry about these sticky as hell Continental GR86 tires trying to pick up. They're not trying, but they definitely will pick it up. Jared Audrick, Chase Gardner. This has been once, thrice that we've seen this battle here tonight. Chase Gardner. Oh, Chase, he tried to open up the corner just enough to avoid the contact, but Jared Audrick makes some contact out there with Chase. He'll lose 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. Chase Gardner with only 6 minutes left to go. Not what he was wanting to see. Not what he was wanting to have happen either. Jared Audrick looking low, and then here comes Chase Gardner backing around to, that's going to tally that one up as a racing incident right there, since you got the kind of S's section, as you will, from Sebring International. Back out here, just 5.5 minutes left to go. Edwin, he's going to continue to play the defensive line once more, but how many more times can Edwin continue to play the defense before the offense starts to strike, and don't look now, ladies and gentlemen, but Anthony Wynn, he is there. Here comes Luke Cantor back around the outside line once more, or he's maybe just trying to get Edwin Onofre once again, trying to look up there within that rear view mirror. Luke Cantor tries to set up this corner exit, tries to open up the corner and pin that throttle pedal down once more. GT Eddie, Twitch, GT Eddie on YouTube as well. Go give the man a follow, give the man the subscribe. Edwin Onofre continuing to lead lap after lap after lap, but as we continue to crest our way, final few minutes to go, what can Onofre do? Not only what can Edwin do, but as we continue to look at and see Luke Cantor, not only race leader for a couple laps earlier within this session, but now back on board here with Luke. I take that back here. We got an, okay, this has huge race implications. Shoot, this could have even huge championship implications as Edwin continues to try and hold him off. It's coming to a close, I do think, though, as is Luke Cantor is able to continue to close that gap to the rear bumper. Now 1/10 of a second separating 1 and 2. Here comes Luke Cantor once more. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3/10 of a second as he compromises corner entrance out there for him. He'll fall back now to 4/10 of a second as Luke Cantor falls back. Here's a quick look to see what happened to Chase. Chase Garner was up there just battling within 4th, 5th, and 6th. Oh no! Profana runs wide, tried to go back out on the track, and unfortunately for Chase Garner, unfortunately for Andreas, I guess, unfortunate for both of them, they were both there. There you see Jared Odrick, Scott Adams, and Patrick Brunson just trying to make their way back and around towards the white and checkered flag out here in about 2 to 3 laps time. 56.5 minutes down here, continuing to see things start to heat up. Edwin Onofre, Luke Cantor, they'll look at it, they'll continue to go at it once more. Luke, though, I mean, it's at what time do you start to maybe compromise a little bit of that corner entrance to try to make that corner exit speed happen? Here we're going to start to see just that. Outside of turn 17, Luke Cantor shoots out of cannon. He's got the speed. He's got the momentum. He's in front right now, but the longer way around the racetrack within turns 1 and 2, Luke, this deja vu just still not able to make it happen. I do think, though, that once Luke is able to just make another move like that happen, that we're going to start to see Anthony Wynn really start to turn up his wick out there within this battle. I think we're a little bit too late to the call. Anthony Wynn, he had that wick turned up within turns 3 and 4. Here we go, turns 5, 6, and back to 7, hairpin corner. Static shots here, 6/10 now, 1 and 2. That's really about more like 3 to 4 car lengths separating them. You can see Jared Odrick, Scott Adams, and Patrick Brunson. How about the drive back through the pack for Patrick Brunson? He had gotten contact out there, receiving end of it once, twice earlier on in the race. Eagles Canyon powered by Fast Track Racing. He's on a fast track up and into this top 6, if not 5 battles up front. Andreas Profana, Cameron Tackman, and Alex Copeland. That's still the battles for 7th, 8th, and 9th position. 3-way going at it there with only 2 laps left to go. Tackman deep within the braking zone, goes a little bit too wide. Seeing that one here from a couple drivers. Copeland says thank you very much. Profana says thank you very much. Be cresting our way with just about 2 minutes to, should be coming around here within the white flag lap to go this time by, all depending on when Edwin Onofre gets around, back and around Tam throughout that white flag lap. Back to the start-finish line for Barney to throw that white flag lap, loud and proud. Luke Cantor, he's starting to run out of options right now, but he is definitely not out of the running here just yet. You got a long way to go and a long time to get there. Most likely looking at 1 more lap to go. Here we go down the back straightaway. He's going to use the Ricky Bobby. He'll use the shake. He'll use the bake. He will use the draft. Now he's going to shoot his way back around the outside line. Really do a nice job at opening up Sunset, but still cannot make it around. Here comes the switchback around turn 17, Sunset Corner at Sebring International Raceway. Looks like Luke Cantor has been just abiding his time. 45 seconds left to go. Barney the flagman throws the white flag. The white flag waves loud and proud. Battle still continuing to ensue all over this racetrack. Luke Cantor is clear for the battle within turns 1, 2, and 3 right now. Alex Copeland, Cameron Tackman continuing to go door to door within 1 and 2. Cameron Tackman outside, but it'll be Copeland back into the inside. Final lap for within our top 3 battle. Onofre, he has been leading lap after lap after lap, but after Cantor bides his time, just patience. He got patience like a rock. Luke Cantor clear to the race lead. Battle's not near just over just yet. Only about halfway down this track to go, halfway down this track to finish it on our white flag lap. Tech Sport, West Coast Sim Racing. Edwin Onofre looks outside, not able to make that one happen either. Anthony Wynn, he started to look low, but after already and started to look low, Edwin was backing around town. Edwin Onofre, the driver's going to look side by side. They'll beat, they'll bang on the white flag lap from Sebring International Raceway. They'll trade paint going out there within another hairpin corner. It's going to be towards the right and back towards the left. Edwin Onofre, he shoots it wide as Edwin Onofre shoots it wide enough to back around clear Luke Cantor. Luke Cantor shot it wide, and that's what allowed Edwin Onofre to make his way and back up and into the race lead. Battle still isn't done here just yet. Anthony Wynn, he's been taking notes throughout this whole race as we saw just a slight mistake for Luke Cantor leading this race on the white flag lap. That really did a number on his speed, on hat strategy call out there. Strategy call was to try to win this race, but it's looking like he's running out of time right now. Scott Adams and Jared Audrick continue to go at it, as does Mike Iacino and Daniel Parmalee. But back out here on the final start-finish straightaway, the final straightaway, but the final lap to go. Edwin Onofre back it up and out up front. Anthony Wynn, he will have one more chance, one more opportunity, but at 0.3 of a second back, you have to do everything that the doctor wrote. You got to send it here throughout turn 16, throughout turn 17. Anthony Wynn, he is now close enough to get there, to try to get there for the race lead on outside of the final corner of the racetrack. Anthony Wynn is there. It's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line, but it'll ultimately be Edwin Onofre who gets the win at Sebring International Raceway and the NASA Texas Sim Racing Series. Anthony Wynn, he'll be P2. Luke Cantor backing into P3. Scott Adams, Andreas Rafana, Alex Copeland going at it out there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. What a race, what a session this was. As golly, you got Profana going for a spin after the stripe. You got Cameron Tackman taking away P8. Chase Garner, Daniel Parmalee rounding at the top 10. Mike Iacino, Corey Elliott, Daniel Santabanes. We'll get with our finishing race results here in just a few moments' time. As we got to check out here what happened with Edwin and Luke within those final few sectors. Here's going to be the best look at it here. You're going to start to see Luke Cantor on the inside line, and you're going to start to see it. Look at this braking differential out there, going within the corner, and that's all she wrote for the 16 out there. It just goes for a little bit wide, and unfortunately for Luke Cantor, he just passed for the race lead on the closing laps here of this race. One more look here at it before we get going into live virtual top driver interviews as well as unofficial official race results. Well, what a win for Edwin Onofre GT Eddie it was. We'll be chatting out here with him in just a few moments time as you see our unofficial official race results pop up here on the screen. Hey, Edwin, it's Sean Stim up here in the broadcast booth. You got yourself a copy.
Copy loud and clear.
Well, Edwin, how about you get it done here at Virtual Sebring International? It wasn't easy, though. Walk us through it. You were going back and forth for the race lead.
I don't know what to make of that race. I was coming here to try to have a good time. I didn't end up thinking I was going to be able to have some decent pace to be at the top 3, let alone the win. Thing about it is that my setup had way more downforce than I would have liked to have it, but I've only entered with like only 10 minutes of practice left going, and I just thought, well, let's just try to set up out, see how it goes, and it doesn't matter if I try to win or lose for it, but as the race progressed, it ended up becoming something like I wanted to win it just to impress the people watching this race. So I appreciate to all those watching on the network. Appreciate you guys sticking around for it. And yeah, like I said, it was very tough battles, and this is probably the first time I've ever defended this hard for like a win, which I feel like I've taken a win out of somebody. But yeah, it felt good out of it, honestly. Man, I have no words. I don't know what to say about this one.
Well, man, Edwin, you say you feel like you took it away from somebody, but man, you were on rails out here tonight. Your best lap, a 2:22.2. Matter of fact, damn well tied with Anthony Wynn, who came out there P2. Edwin, you gained 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. Matter of fact, going back to the drop of the green flag, if you can even remember it, what was the race start of this race here for you tonight, Edwin? How was it? Oh shoot. I apologize there, Edwin. I just pressed the wrong button. But, I mean, talk about, you said that you took away a race win out here from somebody. I don't necessarily think so. I mean, this was a well-deserved race win here for you. Edwin, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out here tonight?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody at SRO, in particular, Patrick Burnson, Ava Schlitz, and all the other people who have met in Circuit of the Americas when SRO was there. I was there having a good time, taking lots of pictures that I still got to send to the teams out so that way I can show them what they wanted to see. But, yeah, that was a good time right there. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting this race for us so that way I can go ahead and put some more effort around here. Let's see how this goes around. I'd like to thank X4 Racing mostly, first and foremost. We had a really good weekend at Circuit of the Americas, especially with Spike Kobecker getting the win in race 2. And, yeah, I'd like to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Man, Edwin, from the bottom of my heart, man, that means the world here to me, and I'm glad I was able to meet you out there at SRO out at COTA, give you a little SSN merch, and looks like a little SSN merch going to give you 5 horsepower. In all seriousness, though, congrats on the race win here tonight, Edwin.
Thank you so much. See you on the next one.
Well, I would be chatting out here with Anthony Wynn and Luke Cantor normally out here, as they would be our top 2 and 3 race finishers. But unfortunately, the iRacing session had just closed, so I unfortunately cannot get to chatting with any other drivers out there. But until, I guess, next race out here on Stamp Studio Network, I mean, what a race this was. If we go back out there and look at official race results once more, Edwin Onofre, Anthony Wynn, Luke Cantor. We saw these top 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers going at it throughout this whole race, and it ultimately ends with Onofre to the win. Something that he said that he feels like that he kind of took away from some other drivers. Well, I don't think so. He had some lights-out pace. Jared Audrick, he'll finish P4. Scott Adams, Andreas Profana, Alex Copeland, Cameron Tackman, Chase Garner, Daniel Parmalee, Parmesan, how about you, P10? Mike Aracino, Corey Elliott, Daniel Santabanes, Patrick Brunson, Ava Schlitz, Greg Hartman. We got Chris Schultz, Mark Curley, Jeremy Fletcher. No racing action for him tonight, but he did slap it on the pole. GR86 champ there. He's been going at it out there with Spike Kobecker as Edwin Onofre mentioned. It'd be fun to watch them go at it the rest of their real life seasons. Robert Rose will finish out their P20 position, and I believe that'll do it out here tonight on Stam Studio Network. Ladies and gents, from the bottom of my heart, Sean Stam. I'm producing, directing, commentating the show here up here with you. If you haven't caught here, just enough of me. I will be producing, directing, commentating some NASCAR action at Watkins Glen Raceway tomorrow night for the Full Throttle Performance Cup Series. Make sure that you join us for the Sooner Summer Grand Prix, June 5 through 7. You can register now at NASA. www.nasatx.com. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart, and for liking, commenting, and sharing this broadcast. Until next time, everybody.
They trained B-17 crews here before they sent them to war. Now the same concrete tests a different kind of machine. Sebring isn't smooth. It isn't forgiving.
And it was never meant to be. Every crack, every seam, every brutal bump through turn 17 reminds you exactly where you are. A track built on history, a surface that demands respect. 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. Sebring International Raceway. Make your mark on history.
She's got a megaphone in her hand, black boots on the street. She's got traction, she's got friction, she's bringing